It happened again. A bad start leads to a easy L.
Well, the Hawks lose again. The streak is snapped, just as I expected. They lose 5-2 to the Edmonton Oilers on the road, and this one brings me back to the first month of the season. Because it was shades at the beginning of the season. Because you know what? The Hawks had another awful first period, and they couldn't recover. Another game where the team lets up 4 goals in the first period. Although, unlike the one against Pittsburgh, where they let up in the first 11 minutes, one, Kevin Lankinen was in net, and two, they didn't even let up a goal in the first 10 minutes. They were all scored in the back half of the first period. And look, I kind of expected them to lose, but man, did they just have a terrible first period. And again, the narrative repeated itself just like they did against Colorado and they did against Pittsburgh early in the season. They have an awful first period, get down 3-4 nothing, and then outscore them for the rest of the game. I'm not joking. Against Colorado, it was 3 nothing. The game ended up being 4-2. Hawks outscored them 2-1 for the rest of the game. Same thing with Pittsburgh. It was 4 nothing at the end of the first. Final score is 5-2. In this game, the Hawks actually scored before the first period was over, and so it was 4-1 going in intermission. And well, after we were down 4 nothing, game ended 5-2. They outscored them 2-1 for the rest of the game. One thing that really does kind of puzzle me is that the team let up 2 shorthanded goals in this game. I mean, what are you doing? You're on the power play, and twice you let it go in the back of your net. Those 2 goals don't go in. It's a 1-goal game, and you have a shot at winning this game. It's pretty simple. But I guess not because, we let those 2 up. Look, McDavid scored once. A couple of other Oilers were able to get ones. They were getting rebounds in front of the net. They were getting second chances. They were getting extra passes to people wide open in front of the net all night long. And there were a couple goals where it was just a strip snipe past Lankinen. I think that was his weak spot last year. Lankinen was letting up a lot of those just soft breakaway goals. Just didn't even make any moves. Just moved right in and just fired the wrist shot and it was in. I mean, there's not much else to say about this game. It was a bad game. You want to move on from it. You have to because you know what? It's the front half of a back-to-back. You got the Canucks next. So I mean, you have to do something to fix it because you know what? You got a game right after this. You don't have any time to really prepare for it. You go from one game to the next. So, speaking of, they're against Vancouver next. And you know what? Who knows? They beat us. They killed us at home early in the season. Granted, Colleton was still behind the bench. You know what? We can look at October as a distant memory because it looks like since Derek Kings took over, this is the first time he's lost. He's 4-1 as a head coach. So, I mean, hopefully we can rebound and get the win before we play the Flames to conclude this Northwest Canada Seattle road trip. I mean, there's really nothing else to say about this game. This game was relatively over by the first period. Again, this is not the first time that's happened this season. This has happened several times this season. And frankly, it just felt like we're back in October. And again, this team is good. The Oilers currently came into this game leading the Pacific Division and left this game still leading the Pacific Division. I mean, there's nothing else you can really say about it. They're a good team. Will that translate to the playoffs? I don't know. Because if the Hawks have showed the Oilers anything in the playoffs, is that McDavid and Draisaitl cannot do everything. They need help from their depth, and it looks like they're getting that through the early season this year. And, well, they're doing a good job, and they're leading the division. Look, with the Flames, who knows? Who knows? That's kind of a toss-up. Probably going to lose that game. If they're still on like a skid, maybe. But I don't really see us winning that game. So I'd love to get the 2 points against Vancouver before we get to Calgary so we can ride off into that game with a win. I mean, there's really nothing else to say about this game. This game was just deja vu, I guess. It's happened a couple times this season. I've covered the exact same game, it looks like, before. So Yeah. Next is Vancouver. So yeah, that'll do it. If you liked it, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.